I'm Troy Kirby with a quick look at the 2022 Washington State legislative session. The Senate Law and Justice Committee heard public testimony on Engrossed Substitute House Bill 1705, which would ban the manufacture and use of ghost guns. The bill passed the House 5739 and would have to pass the Senate in order to make its way to the governor's office for an opportunity to be signed.
Gun violence is preventable. And I believe as lawmakers, we must do everything we can to prevent deaths in our communities and keep people safe. And that is why I'm so proud to bring forward this bill today, which very simply will ban untraceable homemade ghost guns that are easily bought online and assembled at home. These guns are dangerous because we have no way of tracing them, and people do not need to get a background check to obtain them. And that's why they have been utilized by gun traffickers, and we know they are easily traded in the criminal market.
Our unit actively tries to separate firearms from domestic violence perpetrators due to the threat firearms pose to the victims. We also actively investigate denied firearms transactions. Spokane was one of 6 sites in the country selected to do a firearms technical assistance project to reduce domestic violence by homicide by firearms. Technology has changed almost the way everything we do in life. It's made it possible to print and build firearms at home, no questions asked.
I am against House Bill 1705. The legislature has promised to do more for the Black community by creating more inclusive laws, but time and again, those laws have unintended consequences on Black lives. The legislature argued for hours about the desperate impact on Black lives regarding police reform bills. But when it comes to firearm policies, they seem to have a tone deaf. 40% of all of non-violent firearm possession arrests are of African Americans, which make up 13% of the U.S. population. This law creates yet another non-violent possession law that will impact my community.
We're met almost every day with news about the harm caused by ghost guns. Federal law enforcement now warns that such homemade firearms are becoming the favorite tool of white supremacists and criminals.
House Bill 1705 was drafted by well-intentioned people. However, these people failed to consider that it creates yet another pointless nonviolent possession crime that will impact my community. By forcing people to pay a licensed dealer to engrave a firearm, this bill creates an immediate financial burden. It will force low-income people to make a choice. Do we charge it to a high-interest credit card, or do we pay the electric bill?
And I know that tracing these guns without serial numbers makes it much harder for law enforcement to find them and to prosecute those who violate the law.
10 years ago, I was addicted to heroin and meth and was witness to many criminal activities. I've seen how, and with great ease, criminals would steal, purchase, sell, or trade firearms, all illegally, and use them to further their criminal activities. No laws on the books that prevented these actions. I'm now clean and a law-abiding member of society. I'm a minority single mother and a small business owner in the downtown area of Bremerton. I am the perfect success story. And I also enjoy my legal right to protect myself, my child, and my business by owning a firearm. There are many in my community who've made their own firearms, not to skirt the law, but as a means of enjoying the technical challenge or creating something uniquely suitable to their purposes. I'm tired of bills that are aimed at turning law-abiding citizens into criminals.
Under the Heller decision, the United States Supreme Court has made clear the Second Amendment protects the ancient and natural right to keep and bear arms. Precluding an individual from manufacturing a firearm without first obtaining government approval infringes on the centuries-old tradition of manufacturing a personal firearm for self-defense.
Because this bill will close a very dangerous loophole in our background check laws and help keep communities safe.
And I ask that you vote against this bill. 1705 does not stop criminals from acquiring firearms, as most of them find it easier to steal or illegally purchase them. This bill, if passed, would be a financial burden that will disproportionately affect the minority communities.
Prohibited purchasers, gun traffickers, and others buy or build ghost guns, first, to acquire them without having to pass a background check, and second, to prevent law enforcement from tracing the guns back to them if those weapons are ever used to commit a crime.
Thank you for watching the 2022 Washington State legislative session.